Did Spotify just find a clever way to hashtag MuteRKelly? Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur, and hey, do you not like Reba McEntire? Do you not like Cher? Do you not like Kiss? If you don't like any of these people, what is wrong with you? Seriously, I love all these artists. Okay, not the point. Totally not the point. Here's the thing. Spotify has added a new artist blocking feature so that if you don't like any of these artists, or say a popular R&B artist who happened to have a 6-part Lifetime miniseries that really disturbed everyone who watched it, well, guess what? You can effectively mute them from the playlists. According to Engadget, Spotify's mobile app lets you block artists you can't stand, and I love the little quotation under, R. Kelly will never appear in your playlist again. I love that, because we all know this is really about R. Kelly. But one of the reasons I talk about this is because, well, not only did I talk about this story a few days ago, but I actually think this is probably the most sensible response to an artist whose works are problematic and who people don't want to hear anymore. So let's look at the article. Spotify has introduced a new feature that will let users block music from artists they no longer want to hear. A Don't Play This Artist feature appeared in the latest version of the Spotify app for iOS and Android, as first spotted by Thurrott. The company hasn't made any mention of it, and no details are included in the most recent update notes. Engadget reached out to Spotify for more details, and it will update this post if we hear back. To use the block feature, go to an artist page on the Spotify app and tap the 3 dots in the upper right corner. An options menu will appear with an option that says Don't Play This Artist. Once selected, if you choose to block an artist, their music won't appear in your library, playlist, chart listings, or radio stations. However, the artist may still come up if they are featured on another artist soundtrack. Because, sometimes artists, do collaborations with one another. So, and by the way, why is that still an issue? I've had the iPod for a long time, and I never understood why they didn't have like a multi-artist option. Like it's like, oh, this is artist 1. Oh, and this is artist 2, and this is artist 3. So that therefore they could all be in the same groups. Like, if you looked up Reba McEntire songs and that song was Brooks and Dunn's, that would show up. But if you looked up Brooks and Dunn, that same song would still show up. But no, you have to do where it's like either you can only feature one artist on the artist information, or you have to have they have to have their own little category. It never makes any sense why you can't tag them like a blog post or a YouTube video, for example. So that was always a little weird to me, and I don't know why. So anyway, this is what it looks like. As you can see, it says okay, we won't play music from this artist. And yeah, of course they're going to use R. Kelly as an example on this one. Spotify has previously played around with the possibility of blocking artists back in 2017, but decided against implementing the feature. The streaming service briefly changed its policies to remove controversial artists including R. Kelly and XXX Tentacion, I think I'm pronouncing it right, from promoted playlists, but backtracked on the decision, the following pushback from record labels and musicians. And it was well earned, by the way. Spotify appears to now be putting the ability to make moral judgments on artists in the hands of users instead of tackling the task itself. And by the way, that's how it should be. That's how it should be. Because here's the thing. Everyone can find something morally wrong with an artist that they like. And it's not Spotify's decision. It's not their job to tell you how to listen to it. The way I see it, I'm paying for your service. And I don't want you to be deciding what music I listen to for me. And some people might be saying like, well, but, R. Kelly's he's a monster. I fully acknowledge that. But then what about Rolling Stones? Like, they had a lot of drug use, and they were anti-American in some cases, and Mick Jagger was a total womanizer. So maybe we should take Rolling Stone off there too. What about Queen? Everyone loves Queen, probably because that Bohemian Rhapsody movie just came out, so, But Queen was involved in a huge level of debauchery, so much so that the new movie that came out, they went out of their way to make it less of an issue, because they didn't want people to know. It was like, no, we're gonna scale this back a little bit, because if you really looked at Queen, you'd probably feel dirty about listening to them too. And then, of course, with the Beatles, well, there's that whole we're bigger than Jesus thing. I mean, no one really cares about that anymore, but you see where I'm getting at here. R. Kelly is a monster. That is absolutely clear. But it is not Spotify's or Google's or Apple's decision to tell me if I want to listen to him or not. I typically don't anymore, to be perfectly honest. And I even have a hard time listening to I Believe It Can Fly, just knowing what I know now. But it's my choice. It's not their choice. So I actually think this is a perfect solution. You give the people the chance to decide whether they want to listen to that music or not. Now, some people at this point might be saying, well, why would you even use that option? Why don't you just not click on their music? Because here's the thing. Spotify has playlists. They have radio stations. They have things on the site that you are not in complete control of the music. And so, that's right. Like say you go to the best R&B songs of all time, and R. Kelly has produced quite a few, you will probably hear R. Kelly. And so, here's what Spotify is doing. They're saying, okay, we're going to have the artist. We're not going to change the algorithm to go against the artist because, again, that's finances on the line. Like, if the record companies and the artists feel like they are being discriminated against, and again, R. Kelly has not been actually legally, declared guilty on anything, even though it's very unlikely he's innocent. So they could sue for lost wages if they want. So by doing this, if his music starts getting played less and less on Spotify, it is purely because the people who pay Spotify money and who are on Spotify are literally muting him. And that's the way it should be. The people should decide what they want to listen to, not Spotify. So yeah, I think this is a great feature personally. And you know what's also great? This also means that everyone who really hates country or NSYNC or something like that, they can just mute that artist as well. Because this has practical functions outside of R. Kelly. Again, you don't like Reba McEntire? I don't know what's wrong with you, but you don't have to like her. So yeah, just mute her on Spotify. Her songs will never come up. So I actually think this, even though R. Kelly kind of got this thing rolling, I actually think that this is going to be, how should I put this? Is going to be a really nice feature that we're going to enjoy for a long, long time. But anyway, I'm going to leave that with there. What do you folks think of this feature? Do you plan to use it or not? I would love to know. So comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy my videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, of course, but even those $1 a month goes a long way to helping this channel run smoothly, and you get access to my exclusive Patrons-only blog. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.